Well, hello there, Vlad here. Welcome to my studio. Today I wanted to talk about headphones and more specifically why every guitar player should have closed-back headphones. And the headphones we're looking at today are Sennheiser's HG620S, and yes, I'm bringing this video in collaboration with Thomann and Sennheiser, and these things are pretty much made for a guitar player because they're closed-back, meaning that they isolate a lot of the sound. I have worn these for extensive periods of time and they don't still feel like heavy or make your head sweaty or anything like that. And one of the things they do is to isolate some of the room reflections and some of the kind of outside sounds so you can really dial in your guitar tones. Which actually brings me to my first point, which is that when you're using closed-back headphones, you don't hear the outside world as much. Kind of obvious, and this is something that you might think about when recording acoustic guitar, but I think we might actually forget how loud the electric guitars can be. Let me demonstrate. So let's start with the Telecaster, which don't think is a loud acoustic, but it's actually pretty loud. I'm going to play in the microphone over here, and I'm not intentionally playing super loud or anything like that. Okay, I think you can tell already how much it's bleeding into this microphone. And when I switch to a semi-hollow guitar, this is obviously even louder. Another thing that affects how you perceive the sound is your room. And while this is maybe more acoustically treated space than many others, I still get a lot of echo. If I just clap, you can hear that this guitar is resonating. There's some reflections from the walls, even still. There's AC humming, things like that. They all affect how we perceive the sound. And these things matter because we make our tonal decisions based on what we're hearing, and especially if you have a lot of reflective surfaces like walls and ceilings and floors and stuff like that, it affects how you perceive the tone of your guitar. And in worst cases, it can even cause like phase cancellations where you're sitting, for example, so stuff is reflecting and those frequencies are cancelling each other out. And when you record something, it sounds completely different than what you thought it would sound when you hit that record button. And again, closed-back headphones solve that issue as well. And the third reason why you need to have closed-back headphones is that you can get consistent monitoring everywhere. It's kind of obvious, but is it really? I mean, you can get exactly the same listening environment whether you're working in the studio, whether I would be mixing something on the couch, or whether I would be traveling to mother-in-law's place and do some mixing projects there. I have exactly the same listening environment, and that is pretty amazing. My long-time viewers know that I enjoy being a dad, but it does bring some limitations when it comes to guitar playing. And one of those is that I cannot play loudly blasting my studio monitors in the evenings, for example. And that's again where closed-back headphones come in. I can be having a jam of my life over here while my kids are happily sleeping in the next room. Again, this makes all the difference. And the fifth reason to use closed-back headphones is to protect your hearing. I sucked at this when I was a kid. I didn't care at all whether it was gigs or playing with my friends in a band, anything like that. I paid zero attention to protecting my hearing. And now in my mid-30s, I can tell I didn't take the whole thing seriously. And I do get tinnitus, so however you pronounce it, I get that from time to time. And I've noticed that my left ear hears worse than my right ear, I mean, our brain is kind of clever that it can balance itself out, but when I put on headphones, it takes few seconds before things are kind of equally loud on both sides. I think I can pinpoint one band rehearsal in my teens where I should have had some sort of earplugs at least, but I didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's very difficult at least to get rid of tinnitus if it really kind of sticks. Some people have trouble sleeping because of that, things like that. So I'm trying to be way more careful nowadays. I want to hear in my 60s and 70s as well. I want to be able to enjoy music and stuff like that. And having closed back headphones helps with that immensely. And if this is a list mate, you want to get your closed back headphones, the affiliate links in the description. These are very, very nice. They isolate me from the world just enough, but not too much. I can still hear kind of everything that's happening just with quieter. I've been recording like crazy over the past couple of days and have worn these for extensive periods of time. They still feel comfortable. The kind of forks leather padding feels really good. And I love the EQ they've put on these. They aren't your like typical kind of overhyped, bass heavy, anything like that. These feel good for mixing because they give you like a realistic representation of how things sound. Again, thanks to Sennheiser and Thomann for making this video happen, and links again in the description for all the things I mentioned here. Thanks for watching. I shall see you next time.